I want to be really clear. I find both men um, morally undeserving of the office. I'll just say that. I think both of them are morally undeserving of the office, but one of them is going to be president. And so I want, as a Christian, to be absolutely honest in intellectual and moral terms. I would not personally choose either of these men to be president. Joe Biden, over his political career, just absolute political mayhem, and by the way, just servile obedience to whatever is necessary to get him elected to office. What he did on abortion in 2020, and basically switching his position overnight, one night, so that he didn't lose the primary the next day. And I'll go so far as to say, I think he sold his soul to the culture of death, and just a politically corrupt figure in and of himself. Needless to say, in my lifetime, he had to withdraw from one presidential campaign from not only stealing someone else's speech, but stealing it badly. And then you have Donald Trump. And I mean, it just is a moral problem. He's a complexity of moral problems, not to mention, just absolute ego. And so from a Christian perspective, I don't want either of these two men, but one of them, unless there's something unforeseen, is going to be elected president of the United States. And it's like Groundhog Day, famous movie here in the United States. We're back here once again. And so what I would say to Christians is we're electing a government, not in the same sense it's true of a parliamentary system like in Australia, or in Britain, but very close to it these days. We are actually electing a government. And so I am encouraging Christians to elect the government we think will uphold what is right and good and true, the dignity and sanctity of human life, righteousness, all the virtues that we should look for, limited virtues, by the way, we should look for from government and policies. And so, for me, the issue is very clear. I'll just tell you. And I think for most Christians, they are. So let me just give you some math here for a moment. From 1980 until 2020, the evangelical vote went Republican versus Democrat, almost exactly the same, marginal changes in all those election cycles from 1980 to 2020. Evangelical Christians, conservative Roman Catholics, overwhelmingly have voted for the Republican candidate because of the policies. And I think that's not going to change in 2024. So I'll just tell you, I would tell people, look, let's be honest about the two candidates. And by the way, we now know a massive structural flaw in our system. And that is that I'm a citizen of the state of Kentucky as well as the United States of America. Our primary doesn't come for another 2 months. And it's over now. So when someone says, well, the Republican Party chose Donald Trump, well, sort of, but not really. That's just, we have some structural problems here. And the Democratic Party, as you well know, they're Democratic figures, and even especially, I guess, Democratic figures on the left who are scared to death because of Joe Biden's age. I don't think anyone would say that and by the way, something like 70% of Democrats polled said they thought he was too old to be president, but he's going to be the Democratic nominee. So I may have digressed a bit, and I apologize for that. But we clearly have a structural problem. And to be honest, I'm not sure there's any way to fix it. But if we have these two candidates this early in what was supposed to be a primary season, something's broken.